Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine Tuesday? I don't know how old you are. I don't know when you were born or anything like that. I was born in 1990, so I'm smack dab right there in the middle of the millennials. There's no cusp. There's none of that. I was raised by Gen X. I got a sibling in the Gen Z. But when I was growing up, I graduated high school in 2008. When I was growing up, especially in high school, they had these shows on MTV and VH1 that basically made me feel like I was never going to be worth anything in life. And it was these Cribs style shows, the lifestyles of the rich and famous, MTV Cribs, which we ended up finding out that that was mostly a fabricated show. That was ridiculous. The Super Sweet 16. They were always putting people with a whole lot of money on TV. And then not only were they putting the people on TV, they were really hyping it up, how much money these people had. And it made us growing up feel like, even if we came from like a regular middle class background, which I did not, I was from a working class background, to put it mildly, it made you feel real bad. It made you feel like, oh my God, there's literally nothing I could ever do in this world to make this much money. So I had like a hate relationship with these shows. I did not like them because I didn't like the feeling of like not having what the people on the TV had. It made me feel like I needed to have that or whatever. Well, oh my God, y'all. Last night I was on the internet minding my own business, reading conspiracy theories on Twitter. And I came across this clip. Now, they're purporting that it's from 2007, which is an interesting time frame because 2008 is the first time that Steen ever was called to the carpet legally, and he got out of it due in large part, I think, to his friend Charlie Crist, who was, I think, the governor of Florida at the time. I don't know. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Right. Charlie Crist and his many conflicts of interest have become the focus of heavy scrutiny by advocates in the Free Britney movement. He served as the district attorney when the negotiations started for Jeffrey Epstein's infamous sweetheart deal and was accused of taking bribes from Scott Rothstein, who is currently incarcerated for running one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history.
I was doing a lot of research yesterday into this time frame because I'm looking into the Diddy stuff, Cassie, Britney Spears, Lou Taylor, all that. I'm not even gonna say nothing more. Let me just pull up this one clip. It was shocking. I had to pick my jaw up off the floor. Okay, so I have done a lot of transformation to this clip. I've sped it up. I've put a filter on the audio. I put it in a green screen. I flipped it around. So, I'm trying my best to transform it. This clip is out there and available online if you want to see it, but this is a reaction.
In the next hour, we'll tour the hedgerow mega homes they're buying with all that hedge fund cash, but not quite as much as financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
Jeff was a high school math teacher until he traded his blackboard for the big board in 1976.
He was a high school math teacher. I did know that. But isn't that interesting? He was a high school math teacher, and then he ended up being one of the most powerful bankers in the world.
Eventually launching his own exclusive finance firm for billionaire clients. But he just...
Sounds familiar. Lou Taylor. I ain't saying they know each other. I ain't saying they don't.
couldn't keep out of the classroom. So when he...
Listen to that. Listen to that.
Eventually launching his own exclusive finance firm for billionaire clients. But he just couldn't keep out of the classroom. So when he was shopping for a new house, he bought himself an entire schoolhouse. And transformed it.
This is what I was probably 16 years old when this came out, 17 years old. This is what they're showing us on TV, trying to make this man look cool. So if ever we were to come across him or somebody like that who bought a whole school, we would think that was cool. Look how they're putting the editing and the bell and the ding, 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 ding. Yes, he bought a school. What?
Into the largest single residence in all of Manhattan.
They're not going to explain why he bought a school. He couldn't keep out of the classroom, so he bought a house that used to be a school. That don't make sense. And then it ended up being the largest residence in Manhattan.
And transformed it into the largest single residence in all of Manhattan at a whopping 51,000 square feet.
Oh, yeah.
The school cost about $20 million, and he's dropped $10 million just...
Who's this guy? McKee Boardman, Paper Magazine.
renovating it. It has incredible bells and whistles, closed circuit televisions, a heated sidewalk out front, so the snow melts.
But only one man truly rules the Wall Street skies.
Now, for a long time, like years, I have actually allowed people to get away with saying things like, nobody knew what he was doing. Nobody knew. He was just a charismatic guy that threw parties. Kind of like Diddy. Again, like I just said, I was content to let them get away with it. But now I'm looking at this and it's like, hold on, buddy. All the signs were there. We're like not even halfway through this clip yet. First of all, he was a math teacher who became one of the most powerful financiers in the world. Okay, ever. Interesting. He was a known predator. We know that now, against women and children, maybe men, I don't know. Known. He bought a whole entire schoolhouse to be his house because he couldn't stay out of the classroom. And that's just what they putting on TV. Just wait.
Because for former school teacher turned billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, one private plane won't do. He's got a small fleet. A Gulfstream 4, a Cessna, and a Boeing 727 with, of course, an in-flight trading room.
He has a
With an in-flight what? Trading room or training room? Okay, so he has a fleet of planes. Not in and of itself suspicious for a rich person, but what does he need a commercial airliner for? Like we all go on the planes, like 100 people on it. Like, I mean, I don't know, girl. I have no idea why he would need that.
Boeing 727. I'm just wondering now, what do you need a commercial size airliner for?
I'm also wondering that, Broadman. I'm wondering too, McKee.
Believe us, it comes in handy when you've got powerful friends to fly around. When Bill Clinton organized a week-long tour of Africa in 2002, Jeff gave him a ride in his personal 727 and took actors Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker along for the trip.
Now, for a former
You know what? I'm not even gonna beep for those keeping track on the scoreboard. When Bill Clinton went on his own personal private trip to Africa, he flew there with Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker on Jeffrey Epstein's commercial airliner. I want to know why they would go on the commercial airliner. Is it because that's the only one that's big enough to fly? I mean, I am a little ignorant about plane stuff. I really don't know. But like all I can imagine is like they had this plane full of kids. I mean, that's all I can imagine is they had a plane full of kids and, you know, Diddy victims or something.
President Clinton, it was a chance to investigate the problems of AIDS in Africa. And then for Epstein, it was a chance to hang.
He needed to be investigating the problems of whatever was going on in the country he was the president of. I mean, honestly, like I'm getting a little bit sick of it. We work all day, every day, our whole damn lives to pay taxes. We have always paid taxes and we can't get out of it. What's the saying we have over here in the United States? 2 things is for sure in your life: death and taxes. Okay, so we're busting our ass out here. People having trouble putting food on the table and have been for years, 100 years or more in this country. And why is it that the politicians, the presidents are always flying off somewhere to go figure out what's going wrong in somebody else's country? Like we don't have problems over here. Spending our money to go do that. And now, innocent till proven guilty, but I'm just real curious what exactly actually Bill Clinton was doing with Jeffrey Epstein on these planes and stuff. I mean, I'm just curious. I don't know. I certainly wasn't there.
Out with some of his big shot friends.
Jet setting with Bill, all in a day's work for Wall Street moguls. Wall Street.
This is bold. This is bold. And the Robin Leech narrator, the guy that's narrating this, Robin Leech.
Britney Spears is quite the artist, and we're not just talking about music. The pop star sold an original painting of hers to Robin Leech for $10,000 at the Vegas Cares charity auction. Leech also served as the MC for the event.
Spears donated her painting and posted a video in October while creating the masterpiece.
During the event, she told bidders in a video message that the flowers in her painting represent new beginnings, and it's in that spirit that we move forward.
He came up in one of my investigations recently. Let me ask Ethan, do you remember when /why Robin Leech? Okay, maybe we'll get a feedback on that. But there was something weird going on with Robin Leech. Maybe it had something to do with Usher. I don't know. We make so many videos. I really don't know.
Wonderkin Jeffrey Epstein digs science. But he doesn't just have his own chemistry set.
Okay, y'all. Okay. Oh my God. This part, another crazy part. So what are the big takeaways? Let me put the big takeaways. My big takeaway point so far, number 1, he used to be a high school teacher at all. And then he somehow ended up being one of the most prominent, wealthiest, and important, powerful financiers of all time. Okay, that's number one. Number two, he couldn't stay out of the classroom, and they just said it like that on TV. And he bought a school for his house for $30 million or $20 million. Then he paid $10 million to renovate it. What did he do in there? I don't know. But the guy was bragging about how it had all these closed circuit televisions in there. So again, another Diddy thing. And look, listen, I'm not saying that in and of itself it's bad. If I had unlimited money, I probably have closed circuit TV somewhere in my house too, just because of security, and all of that. And he was wealthy and he did need security. I'm not trying to get too carried away here, but the man is now known to have done what he's known to have done. Okay. The third big takeaway point is that he has a private commercial airliner that he took Bill Clinton, who was the former president, to Africa in it to do what? I do not know. And now the next big takeaway is coming up right now. Listen.
Science. But he doesn't just have his own chemistry
So he's a big fan of science, but he doesn't just have his own chemistry set.
set in the basement. To satisfy his inner Einstein, Jeff's got his own staff of world-class scientists, and he gives them $20 million a year to do whatever experiments they want.
Y'all, this is not conspiracy theory. This is on VH1. Okay, I'm reacting to something on VH1. All right, it was on VH1. They played it. They sure did program us with it. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not on 4chan. I'm not on Kiwi Farm. Okay, I'm on VH1 rerun. He paid these people $20 million a year to do whatever experiments they wanted. I mean, hold on. When was Dolly the sheep clone? So at the time of the publication of this video, right? The one where 2007, the one we're watching, the clip, they had cloned a sheep successfully, for example, 10 years prior. A sheep, Dolly. Y'all might have heard of her. What on earth, weird shit, could that man have been having people do $20 million a year? I mean, I want to be very, very abundantly clear. I am not saying, I'm not implying, nor do I believe necessarily that that is what he was doing. What I am saying is the man had $20 million, and we're just told by Robin Leech on VH1, the scientists getting paid the $20 million could do experiments on anything they wanted. 20 million.
Jeffrey Epstein was actually once a math teacher, but he's so interested in math and science that he has a team of scientists that he funds. They'll just say there's something that they want to study, and he just writes a check.
The platoon of scientists that Epstein has aren't just guys off the street. He's got a Nobel Prize winner.
They're not just people off the street. My question is, who are these experiments being run on? If you have ever been in an experiment for Jeffy, comment in the comments down below, because I just want to know what kind of forms you had to sign. Was there an ad in the paper? Did they fly you over to the island to do the experiments? Where was the lab? I mean, if I had to guess, you wouldn't have known, right? Like, if I had to guess, he's probably owned a bunch of companies that did these experiments. And like, experiments could be for anything, right? He could have been doing, can't even say what I want to say. He could have been doing, research to prepare us for the 2019. I mean, who knows what he was doing in there? He could have been dropping 2 items from a high platform and seeing which one falls faster. I mean, people have done experiments for a long time. And I do know, and I do believe that you have to do scientific inquiry and experiments to make progress as a society. I also appreciate people using their own private money to do some of this funding so our tax dollars can go a little farther. Something is not feeling right, though, about knowing now what we know now. And they're like, this isn't just people off the street. This is Nobel Prize winners, like the best people, smartest people in the world.
A professor at Harvard.
But bankrolling your own Bunsen burner patrol? The fantasy spending on...
You notice they don't say one specific thing he was doing the research on, too. Like, I would love to have my curiosity satisfied on that, because it's, what are they flipping upside down in no gravity? $20 million a year? $20 million a year? That is a lot.
Wall Street gets way, way more lavish than that. Not a chance. When Wall Streeters vacation in the Sunshine State, they don't settle for anything less than Palm Beach, the town where the average home sells for over $5 million.
Diddy was in Florida Lou Pearlman was in Florida around this time too. And Lou Taylor, she moved from Florida to Tennessee around the year 2000. So she seemingly would have been also in Palm Beach, Boca Raton, and all of that while Jeffy was there.
Palm Beach is the Wall Street waterway for the fabulous and rich and famous.
Money manager Jeffrey Epstein seems to think so. He unwinds in his $6.8 million Palm Beach villa.
They're not gonna show us the island, or he didn't have the island yet in 2007. I think that's interesting. If you're gonna do a show called, what was it called? The Fabulous Life of Billion-Dollar Wall Street Ballers, I think you would feature the island. I mean, where's the island?
These guys have something way more alluring than sex appeal. Dollar signs.
The ambiguity, the ways that could be taken. Didn't that turn out to be an ominous prophecy? They have something way more alluring than sex appeal. They have dollar signs, so they can do whatever they want to whoever they want. I mean, I'm sure that's not what Robin Leach literally meant. Maybe it is. But even if it wasn't what he literally meant.
Something way more alluring than sex appeal. Dollar signs.
And that's all I really had on that one. Let me know in the comments down below. I was thinking about doing some reaction commentary videos on some of those old MTV Cribs style videos, specifically like Usher, Diddy, some of the people we've been talking about now, maybe Bam. I know he hurt himself a lot. One of the worst injuries Bam ever got as a professional skateboarder through all of the stunts and everything was something he did for MTV Cribs. So I was thinking about like re-watching some of these anyway. Leave it in the comments down below if y'all want me to do it here, because I might just do it on my own time if y'all don't want me to do reactions to it, but I'm gonna watch them anyway. Anyway, that's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, and neither is reacting to a little VH1 clip, girl, from 2007. Love you, and goodbye. Welcome into my world. You're playing my game. Thought that you could come up and they're fitting off of my knee. Talking out the side of your neck like you're insane. Cortisol levels to the roof. Inflame. Kids these days so shameless. Selling out real friends for a paycheck. Mama didn't teach them no home training. Wanna be me so bad, but they failing. Step to the plate though. I'll take a challenger. I ain't scared of no low life scavenger. I should warn you though, if you haven't heard, I know Colleen ukulele ballanger. Shots been fired. Run and tell that. Say it to my face though. Now behind my back. Won't be long till you share it in the group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. That's Devo.